A woman says something's wrong with the car and they hear a noise. They couldn't possibly know what they're talking about. They're a woman. Let's find out otherwise. Let's get started. It's Ellie, everyone. You've seen this car in previous videos. We did an air conditioning video a long time ago that's like, what is it, Mrs. Wizard, over 1 million views?
Oh, well over 1 million. Apparently a lot of people have AC problems.
So over 1 million people have seen Ellie. It's just a 2004 Honda Element, and it is owned by a female who was a friend of Mrs. Wizard, a teacher as well. It's in pretty good condition. It was brought in for basically just an inspection, oil change, a check over, and she's been hearing a weird grinding or kind of a noise, especially on an incline when she's taken off and putting a load on the engine.
Which possibly can't happen very often here in Kansas.
No, there's not very many hills, but when we show you today what we found, it completely makes sense. I have learned over the years, when you have an owner of a car who's a female and they hear a noise, I found that 99% of the time they absolutely know what they're talking about, and they hear something. They rarely have ever been wrong. I have worked with other mechanics or other shops in the past where the owner or my fellow mechanics made a comment like, "She says it's hearing a noise, I don't hear anything. She's a woman, she don't know what she's talking about." She couldn't possibly know even how this thing works. How could she know that she heard a noise? I've heard that before and it really pissed me off. So, we're going to do a video today how this female driver heard a noise and exactly was correct that something is wrong with her car. Before we dive in, let's take a look around Ellie. Here's the face of Ellie. Her eyes are getting a little clouded because of age. It has 216,000 miles on this thing. And this is not the main car anymore for this driver. They have a newer vehicle, but this is now their backup car. It looks black, but it's actually a very dark blue with some gray cladding, plastic cladding. And with the amount of miles on it, it's actually in very good shape. It's not scratched or beat up or rusted or anything. The paint shows really, really well. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Are you guys ready for some mad VTEC? It's a 2.4 iVTEC. These are very reliable engines. They're all over the road. There's millions of these engines in various Accords and Elements and all kinds of different vehicles. This one's had some oil leaks and things over the years that we fixed on it. Currently, it's not really pouring any oil out or anything crazy like that. These are fairly easy to work on. They are a timing chain engine, so we don't have to worry about doing timing belts. But as you can see, there's room all around the engine to get to everything. It's very easy to work on. Really enjoy working on these. I have seen Elements come into the shop that have 390,000, 400,000 miles on them. That's how reliable they are. So if your question is, what kind of SUV utility type vehicle can I get that's somewhat decent on gas and has plenty of room to haul things around and it doesn't cost $120,000? A Honda Element is the answer. They are dead reliable. They're very good. As Mrs. Wizard showed you guys around the interior, you can see that because it's shaped like a box, it gives you plenty of room to store things and haul things. So take it away, Mrs. Wizard.
The Wizard was right, 216,534 miles. And this looks really good. It's going to present very well today. And I was actually just in this car last week. Went to lunch with my friend before she got saddled with kids for the next school year. But everything is looking really good. Got a nice snack shelf there, as my daughter calls them. She's got her mints right there and some gum. Big dials for our HVAC controls. And I like where our gear selector is. It's up here, which leaves a nice big space down below. So she's got some tissues, she's got, cup holders and our e-brakes down there. She's in passenger mode at the moment, so the seats are down, but they can be put up, and I do mean up because they can fold and hang from the bar there, which most people would maybe grab a hold of or maybe put, a suit coat or something on, but no, they fold up, and so she, as an artist, has a lot of space back here. And with the floor rubberized, if something was to be a problem, it's easy to wipe up. One thing that is interesting is that the back passengers get a lovely moonroof, and as we go along this headliner, nothing up here for the front passengers, huh? They get kind of, shafted there for not having a nice view of the sky. As we're back to our steering wheel, you see no major buttons or anything on here because it's just a simple utilitarian vehicle that doesn't need 10,000 buttons to make every operation done within finger's reach. So if you need to change the dial on the radio, you have to reach just a little bit to do it. So good thing she survived all these years with this, but this isn't her daily driver anymore. This is her backup car. Yes, a lady with more than one car. I love it. Let's get back to the WIERD.
So let's go ahead and take a look under this thing. Junior Mint did the oil change on this, and he actually found what was the problem causing this noise, but we'll go through and take a look underneath, and as we come back to the front, we'll show you kind of the indicator to Junior Mint that something in this area is what could be wrong. Like I said, we fixed a lot of oil leaks in the past on this thing, and as we take a look underneath, it's leak-free. Let's take a look. Here's our core support for the radiator and everything. There's no coolant or anything pouring out. And then here's our oil pan, nice and dry. We just did an oil change on it, so there's a little bit of spatter here from doing the oil change. Here's our transmission, no leaks there. And a common place that people skip, especially on the Hondas, is checking the oil level, is this little transfer case, is this little box here. It does have its own little oil, its own gear oil, and it transmits power to the rear of the vehicle. So this one being an all-wheel drive, some of them can be front-wheel drive, but this one has all-wheel drive option. Take a look at the brakes. They got about 30% remaining, but being it's just a backup car, it's not going to be getting tons of miles on it, so they'll be fine for quite a while. Strut is not blown out, nothing loose there. Sway bar link is tight. Brakes, 30%. CV boots are good. Strut is dry. Nothing loose on the sway bar link, and nothing loose there either. One thing that happened to our oldest daughter, she used to have a red element. She went to go to work in the morning, she started her car, and it sounded like a chainsaw. It was so loud. And what it ended up being is someone had cut off her catalytic converter. It sounds like the wind's picking up with storms coming through. You hear all that clattering, that's what's going on. But you can just lay on the ground and cut these off, unfortunately. The elements are one of the targets for these. There it is right there. Luckily this one has not had that done. But I also understand, talking to Crazy D, that it's made it almost impossible to even sell a catalytic converter to a junkyard or to a buyer. So they've really cut down on that pretty hard. It makes it tough to even do anything with these. Here's our drive shaft, which is in good shape, our fuel tank. Here's our exhaust. That's a tiny differential, Mrs. Wizard.
Oh my goodness, it's so tiny and cute.
It's a little baby. And it has tiny little CV shafts, which are not cracked or leaking. The brakes in the back are at about 40% remaining. Strut is dry, nothing loose there. Sway bar link is good. Brakes are about 40% there as well. Strut's not leaking, boots are not leaking, sway bar link is not loose, wheel is not loose. So on initial quick inspection, we really didn't see a whole lot that will be making a grinding noise. And for 216,000 miles, this thing is in really good shape. And trust me, these Honda Elements are great. There's so many of them that have high miles on them. We might find an oil leak or something small. But age has finally caught up to this one. Now let me show you what Junior Mint found. He found the forward motor mount and a large crack completely severed in half. I have my screwdriver stuck in it right now. You can take a look. You can see right through there the rubber is completely severed from the metal. I can run my screwdriver all the way to the other side. European cars have a lot of issues with motor mounts. This one is just due to age, and when Junior Mint saw the one cracked, he said, I know there's 4 motor mounts on this, so I better check the rest. That might be the core issue going on here. So you can see this mount here. I can put my finger, especially my pinky, all the way through. It should be somewhat centered. It's sunken so bad because the rubber has gave way. So when Junior Mint saw those 2, he said, I bet the motor mounts are bad. Let's get this thing back on the ground. There's 2 more to show you. This engine is rocking back and forth really bad in this engine bay. So there are 2 more motor mounts, one on the right side, passenger side, which is actually the front of the engine, but not the front of the car. And then there's one where the transmission hangs from. I'm going to start the vehicle and kind of put it in drive and reverse. The engine should move maybe a tiny bit back and forth, but this one moves a lot. Take a look, guys. You guys see that? That thing is rocking back and forth a lot. That means all the hoses, all the wiring, all the linkages are being pulled and yanked and shifted back and forth. Watch this transmission mount. It actually hops in inside the holder. The rubber is completely shot. Take a look at this, guys. So you guys saw it with your own eyes. There's where our grinding noise is coming from. The heat shields, the exhaust, everything is being tweaked really hard. So like you're at a stoplight and you go to take off and you give it some gas, especially on an incline, which puts even more load on the engine, and the engine shifts and rocks back and just tweaks all the things, the exhaust, the hoses, and makes this grinding noise. So there you have it. She knew exactly what she was talking about. She heard a noise. It was coming from this location. She's not insane. She's not crazy. Because she's a woman, there's no way she could possibly know that. She totally possibly did know that. She did. I'm sorry I'm getting so on a rant, guys. It just really makes me mad when people make kind of those comments like that. I've learned, like I just mentioned at the beginning of this video, I've learned over the years when a female's dropping off her car and she says, I hear this noise, I pay special attention, because sometimes I've found that women actually hear things that men don't hear because they got the radio so loud, they're thinking about other things, they blow up their engine, and a woman can actually say, I've been hearing a noise. They pay attention to stuff like that. So, what's it going to cost to fix these things? It's going to cost $1,000. You say, oh, why is it so much? Wow, that's so high. It's not high. The job pays 4 hours to do all 4 mounts. One of the mounts pays over an hour. A couple of them pay 3/4 of an hour. But when you add it all up, it's 4 hours at $150 an hour. We're at $600, and we haven't even bought the parts yet. The parts range from anywhere from $80 to $100 a piece. There's 4 of them for the OEM branded ones, not aftermarket cheap ones. And then sales tax, boom, we're at $1,000. Just that fast. Everything's expensive. We know that today. You go to the grocery store, you go anywhere. Everything costs more today. I've let the customer know what's wrong and what's going to cost, waiting to hear back from her, see if she wants to move forward. But now we know why the grinding noise is happening and where it's coming from. And kudos to Junior Mint for finding it. He kind of glanced at that lower motor mount and is like, that's cracked in half. I bet the rest of them are, and the rest were even worse. So you say, well, there's nothing wrong here. It dries fine. It's not causing any issues. It'll go a long time that way. No, it'll get worse. I have seen issues like this where engines rock back and forth so bad, the mounts are so bad, it can rip a radiator hose right off the radiator. I've seen wiring harnesses torn and wiring torn. I've seen exhausts get cracked. The exhaust, just like any kind of piece of metal, can only get bent back and forth so many times before it finally snaps. I've seen exhaust manifolds get cracked. I've seen a lot of things happen. It's dangerous. It could be dangerous, can cause issues with drivability. It also can damage your engine or the various things connected to the engine. So it's really not one of those things you can just go, I'll sweep that under the rug and deal with it at a different day. It really needs to be dealt with. In the realm of European cars, motor mounts don't even last this long. For whatever reason, they use like gel-filled motor mounts or absorption type material inside the motor mounts, and they just don't last as long. It's easy for them to collapse and sink, and then you start feeling vibrations really strongly. It's not uncommon for Mercedes to need all motor mounts at 100,000 miles, or a BMW, or a Jaguar. It's very, very common on European models. It's not common on domestic and Asian vehicles. This one's gotten to 216,000 miles before it finally let loose. It lasted quite a while. It's not so common, like I mentioned, on these markets of vehicles, but definitely a European problem for sure. So why are motor mounts there? What do they do? You can't just bolt the motor straight to your frame or your chassis. The vibrations would crack glass. It would drive you insane. You would hear every movement inside the engine. It'd be like, it's really, really bad. The engine needs to move and flex a little bit to absorb movement and also to absorb vibrations. So they use rubber mounts to mount to the body, to the engine. So it kind of floats on rubber. It makes it much smoother, much quieter, and allows the engine to move a little bit without cracking things. Again, if it was bolted straight to the framework, it would break the motor mounts. The steel or the aluminum or whatever, it would just finally just crack them and break them, because there needs to be a little bit of give, a little bit. This one has, as you just saw, way too much give because the rubber is completely shot. Crumbling, cracked, some of the rubber is actually falling out of the mounts, and that's when trouble arises. So again, if you're in the market for an SUV, these are really good. And no, they do not have a CVT transmission. They just have a standard old automatic transmission like they did in the 1980s. It works very well, it drives very well. These aren't super good on gas. You're not going to get 45 miles per gallon with these or anything. 25, maybe 30, somewhere in that range on the highway. But again, they're very useful, lots of room. They're kind of utilitarian as far as going over rough terrain. You wouldn't want to go severely off-roading, but they're decent. And they're very, very reliable. 200,000 to 300,000 miles easily, possibly 400,000 if you take care of it. So the red Element that my oldest daughter used to have actually is owned now by Junior Mint. He drives it occasionally. He uses it as his backup car. He has a truck that he drives every day. And I asked him, are you ever going to sell that Element or get rid of it? He goes, hell no. Because it always starts. It always does what it's supposed to do. I can rely on it any day of the week, any week of the year. It just always works. That's how good they are, guys. That's why he's holding on to his. And if you buy one, you can definitely hold on to yours for quite a long time. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on Ellie, which is the name of it that the owner gave this vehicle, short for Element, or any other cars in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we use in the shop are for sale there, and if you purchase anything, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because we have a full week of scheduling, which means lots more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.